Good morning. Okay, you guys, this is like Sunday school. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Austin Community College. We're glad that you're here. And this is a huge milestone for ACC's legacy. This is also the 60th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's March on Washington. And I know some of you in the room were there, so thank you for doing that. I'm Gigi Edwards-Bryant. I'm a trustee at Austin Community College, and I'm honored to represent the trustees here today at the official ribbon cutting of the new St. John's Encampment Commons and UFCU Pavilion at ACC Highland. I guess I'm not used to all this clapping. I need to pause. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my fellow trustees. If you would stand. We have Dr. Manny Gonzalez and Mr. Steve Jacobs in the room. For those of you who are familiar with Highland over the last 10 years, you do realize that you are sitting on a parking lot, what used to be a parking lot before ACC got a hold of it. So now you're here in this space, which most of you recognize over the years as Highland Mall, which we recognize as ACC Highland. So thank you for being here. As we gather in this area, I want to thank all the people that have come to join us today. But the most important part of today is what this property used to be. This property was St. John's Encampment, which housed children and a school, which was part of the St. John's Baptist Association, which Dr. Horton is representing today. Dr. Horton. This is one of the most advanced learning campuses in the district. The trustees strive at every meeting and at every occasion to be mindful of the history of our community and all the things that go on. And we use those things to set a precedence for what we do at the dais. Thank you all for being a partner in that mission. Thank you for being a part of the community, our leadership, and what we're doing today. It's only fitting that we name this St. John's Encampment Commons, because commons, by definition, means community, a community gathering space. And that's what ACC is all about. Community is in our name. Community is in the name of this particular space. And we pray that it continues to be a place where we can all gather and learn together as well. Now, let me take a moment to introduce our chancellor, who will share the rest of the history of the Commons and thank some more people for joining us today. It is my pleasure to bring forth Dr. Richard Rhodes, my friend and my chancellor at Austin Community College.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing this morning? We brought in a cool breeze just for you. We had a little rain yesterday just for you to make sure that we could celebrate this right. Thank you for joining us today. This is indeed a day of celebration for a number of people and for a number of reasons. But this morning, I want to take a moment to recognize the land that we are on, as Trustee Gigi had mentioned. Today, the land is home to ACC Highland campus. Long before that, it was the home to the St. John Regular Missionary Baptist Association. The congregation established an orphanage and school right here. Where we're sitting and standing today is where it was. We are honored to bring this land back to the community in such a special way. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask everyone to join me in standing for the presentation of colors from the ACC District Police Department and our national anthem. Thank you to the ACC Police Honor Guard. I want everyone to take a moment to look around. You're surrounded by a space meant for community. Now you may be seated. I hope our river bats today and the river bats of tomorrow will come here to gather, to relax, to share in conversation, and yes, to celebrate the history. That is what this land has represented across the decades. I mentioned that this was once the site of the St. John Regular Missionary Baptist Association. In honor of the history of this land, ACC has named this space the St. John Encampment Commons. Today, I'm honored to share that the state of Texas has recognized the historical significance and presented ACC with an official historical marker, which you will see at the entrance, which is directly out there on the street. Bringing this vision to life has been an incredible journey. Not only does this entire green space offer a peaceful refuge for our riverbat family, it is also home to beautiful new event pavilion. The UFCU Pavilion is named in appreciation of our partnership with the University Federal Credit Union, many of whom are with us today. So would all of the members of the UFCU board and team please stand? I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You're making a big difference in this community with your presence and your gift. We look forward to hosting many, many college events and activities here for years to come. The green space and the pavilion are products of collaboration. So I want to take time to say thank you first to our friends at UFCU, Michael Crowell, president, his predecessor, Tony Boudet, and the entire team at UFCU and the UFCU board. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To my wife, Kate Rhodes, who joined us this morning. And I have to tell you that this Thursday is our 45th wedding anniversary. It is hard to imagine that she's put up with me for 45 years. I heard that, Bill Lasher. To our own ACC Board of Trustees, some of whom are with us today, but I want to recognize all of our trustees. Our board chair, Dr. Barbara Mink, our vice chair, Sean Hassan, secretary, Dr. Manny Gonzalez, Dana Walker, Gigi Edwards-Bryant, Dr. Nan McCraven, Steve Jacobs, Stephanie Ann Garikanian, Julianne Nish, former trustees that are with us, Jeffrey Richard, Alan Kaplan, John Michael Cortez, and John Hernandez gets introduced twice as a former trustee. And did I say John Michael Cortez? Okay. And the first president, Dr. Tom Hatfield. We also have with us some foundation board members. We've got, and I guess I have to introduce him, even though he made a rude comment earlier, Dr. Bill Lasher. You know, Bill was on my dissertation committee, and I still passed. And John Hernandez. Oh, Conan, the chair of our foundation board. I didn't see you come in. Conan Collier. You know, I also want to say thank you to our incredible students, faculty, and staff. This green space is for you. So could I have our incredible faculty, staff, and students who are here please stand and be recognized. To our architect and construction partners who brought a vision to life. So I want to start with DWG landscape architect and design lead, Daniel Woodruff, the tall guy over here. What an incredible visionary. Thank you, Daniel. Agenda architecture, architect for the pavilion. WGI civil engineer, LEAP structural engineer, Bay and Associates engineer, Harvey Cleary in contractors, Renfro and Company steel fabrication, Strata landscape contractor, our dear partners at Red Leaf Properties. So we've got Matt Whalen and Brian Comiskey. You know, just listing all of the people involved and all the companies involved in this makes you understand how important and what a fine structure this is going to be. I just happened to see a video because you know, while this is white up here, right now, the lights coming up from the floor can turn the colors amazing. So purple, yes, they can be burnt orange if you're so persuaded. They could be Shasta, they could be that other color. But we can have fun with the lighting of this at night, and you just have to drive out here and see it. So our elected officials who are with us today, the Representative Lloyd Doggett, thank you. Representative Cheryl Cole, City Council Member Chito Vela, from the Travis County Historical Commission that have been so much help to us, Lydia Moore and Bob Ward. The ACC team that's been really putting this together, but one person who really has played an important role in making all of this happen, Dr. Molly Beth Malcolm. Putting this event together, Brett Lee, Jessica Vess, Dalia Anzaldura-Torres, and the amazing team that they oversee. And to those who have helped us shape the very purpose of this space, my sincere thanks to you. Reverend Dr. Darrell L. Horton with Mount Zion, to the very talented artist, Brian Joseph, who, if you take a look right over here, there are 3 murals that Brian Joseph did for ACC. Thank you, Brian. To those who aren't with us today, but I want to recognize, moderator, Reverend Dr. A.W. Anthony Mays, and a special tribute to my friend, and I would have to say he was a mentor too, and that's the late Pastor G.V. Clark. So it's partnerships like this that support from all of you that truly make me what we call ACC proud. Now, it's not on my script here, but I would like everybody to stand one last time. If you know the hand sign for ACC, River Bats, Bill, I'll make it easy for you. So cross your thumbs and fly away with us. Okay, you may be seated now. So. Now I'd like to welcome my friend and our partner, Mount Zion pastor, Reverend Dr. Darrell L. Horton.
Thank you to Dr. Rhodes. Thank you to the entire ACC community. Thank you, Dr. Malcolm. What an honor and a privilege it is to be here on this glorious day. I do want to acknowledge in his absence, as we've already stated, Moderator Mays and the entire leadership of our St. John Regular Baptist District Association, and such an honor and a privilege to be here for the grand opening and the ribbon cutting of this significant place. For some of you, you may be wondering why this park matters. And I would just share briefly that this park matters more than you may even recognize at this moment. Right now, we're in the midst of a culture and a society and a nation that not only chooses to ignore history, but some are even choosing to try to erase it. And as we sit here on these common grounds, I'm appreciative of ACC for not only honoring their commitment to Dr. Clark, but for having the courage and the bravery to acknowledge those who came before them on this very place. And so this pavilion, this commons ground is going to be here for generations to come, and they will understand that there were a people who were here first. There were a people who grew up here. There were a people who changed the community. There were a people here who were a people of faith. And because of what ACC has chosen to do, this park matters for generations to come. And on behalf of St. John, on behalf of Moderator Mays and the entire St. John community, we thank you for honoring and for recognizing St. John in this moment. I do think there is a connection to the mission of ACC, and that is because when St. John was here, this was a place of learning. This was a place of care, a place of compassion. It was a place where people could come and find family, could find home, could find hope, and could establish their roots. And so now that ACC is here helping to educate a whole new generation of people in the city of Austin, we believe that that mission will continue to move forward. Today is a bittersweet day because we're excited about the grounds, but we also can't help but think about the late Reverend Dr. G.V. Clark. What an honor that I have to follow him as the pastor of the Mount Zion Church. He pastored Mount Zion for 51 years, and what a legacy he left at Mount Zion. But you also need to know that he served as the moderator of St. John for over 40 years. And so it was impossible to think about St. John without thinking about Dr. Clark. I can remember stories that he and I would share as he would tell me about the campgrounds, as he would tell me about the orphanage, as he would tell me not just about the highlights of this place, but also the challenges that occurred on these very grounds. And so knowing that today we stand here to honor and to represent St. John, we are also honoring the legacy of Dr. Clark. And so to Dr. Malcolm, to Dr. Rhodes, to all of you at ACC, I know that Dr. Clark is smiling from heaven, knowing that this has come to fruition and knowing that you have honored your commitment to him. And so again, on behalf of St. John, the Mount Zion family, and our entire faith community, thank you so much for doing what you've done here and for allowing us to be a part of what is taking place here on these sacred grounds. What an honor and what a privilege it is for me to be here, and I would now like to introduce my dear friend, Dr. Molly Beth Malcolm.
Thank you so much. Before I go any further, one of our other trustees slipped in with the newest member of the Riverbat family. She's recently had a baby, so Stephanie Garacani, and I don't know where you ended up. She's back at the back with that darling baby and her husband. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Horton, for being with us today and representing Mount Zion and St. John Regular Baptist Association. You know, you were there from the start with us and with Pastor Clark from the start of our journey to bring a rich and often, not sometimes, but often forgotten history back to this space. And it was Pastor Clark that helped us really begin to understand that rich history. And although, as has already been mentioned, Pastor Clark is not physically present today, having his stamp of approval on the plans of the entire development of the Jacob Fontaine Plaza, which is on the other side, and when we get through today, you should walk this whole area and see all of it. But he was there for the plans of the development of Jacob Fontaine Plaza, which is named for the first moderator of St. John Baptist Association. He was there, and I worked closely with him on our history wall, which is in the Paseo. And let me tell you, the first time I took it to him, he kind of looked at it and he went, And I said, what do we need to do? He said, oh, no, I understand it's brief and it's fine. I'm like, no, sir, it's not. It's not fine until you tell us it's fine. So he worked with me, and the day I showed it to him, and he smiled, and he said, that's it. I felt really good about that. And then he knew, and he worked with us to look at what was on the Texas Historical Marker. And, of course, the Texas Historical Marker has different guidelines of what can be done. But y'all were so gracious to work with us, even on that wording, to tweak it just a little bit here and there to get where we really wanted that to be. And then finally, this beautiful space. We had so hoped that Pastor Clark would be able to be physically present when this started, and alas, it didn't happen. But the last time that we met with Pastor Clark to show him the final renderings of St. John Encampment Commons, he sat silently for a moment and then noted it was so much more than he ever expected. And believe it or not, the renderings that Daniel and his team did for us truly look exactly like this space does today. So even though he's not here today, I know he is in heaven smiling down and on this bright sunny morning. I also want to recognize and welcome some special guests that we have with us from Africa today. And would you stand up? We have several people who just completed an intense 6-week leadership course in Washington, D.C. in the Mandela Fellows Program. And I know a number, thank you all so much for being here, and I know a number of them are wearing their beautiful clothing representative of their home countries. So thank all of you for joining us. Okay, y'all, this really is it. I've been so excited about today, I didn't know what to do, because today is truly a culmination of ACC's dream to build a beautifully designed green space for our students, faculty, staff, and community that honors the struggles of the past while also providing a world-class learning environment to the leaders of tomorrow. The parks of Highland, and you've already heard some of this, but I'm going to repeat it because it's amazing sometimes I'll start telling this story, and particularly younger people have no idea what this space was before. But the parks of Highland do tell the story of the land, from Jacob Fontaine Plaza through to the Paseo, the History Wall, through to us here at St. John's Commons. As ACC employees, we are honored to work in an institution that has returned a portion of this land to its original educational purpose, and we are proud that we have done so. I would also be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge our partners at DWG. From day one, they understood the task of honoring the past. In fact, written in the concrete, and I hope you'll take a walk around and see it, are the words that DWG, Daniel Woodruff, and his team crafted to set the tone for what this park represents. And I'm going to share them with you. They're beautiful. From pilgrimage to refuge, the intellectual and cultural spirit of the site lives on. A reinvented place emerges, a place where we lift each other up and we look to the future, from parking lot to park, stitched and lifted, simply, with a nod to the past, sustainably speaking to the future, in a beautiful living landscape laboratory. In creative ways, we gather together. And then Brian Joseph carried those same words over onto the murals that Dr. Rhodes mentioned, and they are now attached to the old Macy's. But once that structure is rebuilt as part of the 2022 bond development that you passed and voted for, thank you so much, the murals then will be moved to a new location in that building. And then finally, thank you, UFCU. Your partnership is the capstone of this project with the naming of the UFCU Pavilion. It is so exciting to see how the plans for the pavilion went from concept to construction. The pavilion was originally planned pre-COVID with just a thought in mind, but we were looking for who's the right partner and that was going to get those naming rights. And that pavilion is shaped for you, the visitor, to use your imagination. So after we came back from COVID and we looked at the original design and was like, it really wasn't that wonderful. And cost went up during COVID, as you all know, so we had to go back to the drawing board. And when we went back to the drawing board, what we got the next time was so much better. Look at the pavilion behind me. Is it supposed to be one of the tents that house St. John Baptist congregants who traveled to Austin from all over Central Texas for the annual camp meetings? There weren't enough places in Austin for African Americans to stay, so they camped out on these grounds in their tents and in their wagons. Or is it supposed to be one of the open-air tabernacles that accommodated religious services and industrial, agricultural, horticultural, and musical classes and recitals on the grounds, both for congregants and for the children living in the St. John Orphan Home and the students that were attending the industrial school? Or perhaps you see it as a book, open, and you could be lying on your back looking at the book on this nice grass. Or maybe you see something totally different. In fact, I came out here Friday just to check things out, and one of our employees was here, and he came running up to me, and he says, "Dr. Malcolm, I just heard a story. Is it true?" And I said, "Well, what was it?" "Well, somebody said that that's an upside-down river bat, and they put it together wrong." I told him the true story. I said, "Now you go back and get rid of that fake news that's out there." But the truth is, it could be a bat doing a somersault or whatever you want it to be. So it really is there for the visitor to use their imagination. But whatever it is that you see, we hope that it is a reminder of how this ground began as a place for education and now has come full circle, returned to its original mission. And that was one of the comments that Pastor Clark said to us after he met with Dr. Rhodes and Loretta Edelton and me back when he first came to visit. And he looked at what we were showing him was going to happen here, and that's what he said. "I love this. It's come full back circle to where it started with education." So thank you, UFCU, for helping ACC honor the history of this place. Thank you especially for your committed partnership of providing $5 million in endowed scholarship funding, such a major investment to the success of our students. And I am so honored to get to wear both the ACC hat and a UFCU hat as I serve on the board of UFCU. And now it is my great pleasure to welcome our next speaker, who truly understands the power of education and who has the heart for our students, UFCU CEO and President Michael Crowell.
Thank you, Dr. Malcolm. That was wonderful. What a moving day. And I'm grateful for your many years of service to UFCU as well, at ACC and our community. So I also want to say what an honor it is to be here on this day with all of you. But I can't let the opportunity pass without first acknowledging Dr. Rhodes. I know there'll be other celebrations, I'm sure, for the next month, but I just want to acknowledge you for all you've done for not only ACC, but for this entire community. It's you talk about making a difference, a positive difference. You are that. You've had a lasting legacy here. And Dr. Malcolm spoke about the plans and the renderings, and I had seen them, on paper. But it's one thing to see something on paper, and it's another to see it in its full glory. And to see this pavilion and this place come together like this, it's truly extraordinary. So on behalf of UFCU's Board of Directors, all of who are here today, many of our employees also in the audience, I think there's 800 of us total, but not here, and over 360,000 members. A big hearty congratulations, and job well done to everyone who was involved in this project. So UFCU we're incredibly proud of our affiliation with ACC. And as Dr. Malcolm mentioned, the $5 million scholarship endowment for students that'll in perpetuity provide benefits and help for them for many, many years to come. Last year we reached that historic heights based on a 10-year relationship, and together I think about UFCU and ACC, together we empower people to achieve success and brighter futures. So now I have the honor of introducing the very first performances in the UFCU Pavilion. So first up, we're going to have Lift Every Voice, then followed by Song of Praise. Please give a great big welcome to our performers today. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoice sing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark rust has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our people sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of our bright star is cast, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray. Test our feet straight from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
You may be seated. I'm delighted, and thank you, Ms. Otha. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to sing for you today. Just before I sing, I would like to say that this campground, of course, grew the St. John District Association, of course, as you've heard already, where Reverend G.V. Clark was the moderator. But what I'd like to say is that the association continues to convene for now, I think, over 150 years. And each time they convene, the association starts on the Monday night with a huge musical concert. And the theme song for the concert is a song that I'd like to sing for you this morning called Look Where the Lord Has Brought Us. And the composer is Miss Virgie Carrington Dewitty, who was the minister of music for over 50 years at Ebenezer Third Baptist Church. That church is a member of the association. She's the late Miss DeWitty, and I had the honor of also serving that church as minister of music. So, Look Where the Lord Has Brought Us, to me, is very befitting to sing at this time. Look where the Lord has brought us. Look where the Lord has brought us. He has brought us from a mighty long way. Led us by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord. Think of the rough road we've traveled, with many a winding pathway, many fears and conflicts, many troubles too. Only your God of love and mercy could have brought us safely through and kept us with faith and hope anew. So look where the Lord has brought us. Look where the Lord has brought us. He has brought us from a mighty long way. Led us by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name. If you know it, you can sing it. Blessed be the name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Oh, blessed be the name. Ooh, blessed be the name. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord.
Well, what a joyful morning to be gathered here. I came to salute ACC for affirming its commitment to remembering our past. It plays such a vital role in shaping our future. So thank you, Chancellor Rhodes, Molly Beth, University Federal Credit Union, Gigi, and all the trustees, and of course, Reverend Horton. Those who would erase our past and its many wrongs that are a part of our past offer us no genuine hope for our future. St. John's, think about what happened here. People who had been enslaved and their children, with pennies and hard work, built a community at a time they remained oppressed by terrible racism and brutality right here in Central Texas. Too many vestiges of which continue to plague us today, as we were sadly reminded with the tragedy in Jacksonville this past weekend. I'd also come to share with you briefly my personal, very happy experience with the St. John's Regular Baptist Association. 50 years ago this June, on a warm summer morning, I joined a friend at a revival in a tent, a little smaller than this, outside the East 19th Missionary Baptist Church. At that time, it was located about where the Longhorns play baseball these days. I was the one white face listening intently to a powerful sermon. At the altar call, as congregants came forward, the young preacher sang the most beautiful rendition of Rock of Ages I had ever heard. As the service was concluding, that preacher, Reverend Clark, called me up for a personal blessing, a 26-year-old who never held any public office. Since that first inspirational experience, and following my election thereafter as state senator, over the years we maintained a friendship, breaking bread, getting his prayers, hearing from him about individuals who needed help in our community. Initially as the assistant moderator at St. John's and then the full moderator, he invited me year after year out to the St. John's Tabernacle, both before and after it was almost destroyed by a big windstorm out there. What a spectacle of worship for any of you who've not had a chance to be there. The joyful music, banners and signs from congregations all over Central Texas, and the powerful leadership of preaching of people like Reverend Clark and Reverend Mays, who I followed through several locations of his congregation until he got over here on Cameron Road, and many pastors who brought hundreds of church families from all over the region. Well, gerrymandering in congressional districts that have taken me from here to Mexico interrupted that long personal connection to St. John's, but not with Reverend Clark, and I continued to be inspired by it and by his friendship. To Pastor Mays, who I know is doing important work this morning, and moderator Reverend Dr. Horton, who leads the wonderful Mount Zion Church family, I think the spiritual and the moral example that emanates from St. John's sends forth ripples of hope throughout Central Texas to people of all denominations and no denomination at all that we can do better and offer respect and hope for our neighbors. For me, like Reverend Clark, St. John's has truly been a rock for the ages. I'm so pleased that the work of St. John's at this very location, its beginning, is being given permanent recognition. Someone who has served our community so well, who's been my friend since long before I was in Congress, first as a city council member, and now as our state representative and a leader down at a very difficult place to work, the state capitol, Cheryl Cold. Cheryl?
Thank you, my congressman, for that wonderful introduction. As long as I've known you, you continue to serve the community well, and I'm proud that you are now my congressman. I want to recognize Dr. Rhodes for the tremendous work that he has done for the ACC community. We could not have had a better leader for all these years, and we are going to miss you. To the ACC board and family and staff, especially Molly Beth and Gigi, who I've known for a number of years, we appreciate your service to the community. The St. John's Commons Encampment Commons, is a tribute to our city and the goals that we have of bringing it together. I recently left the south steps of the Capitol, where we were celebrating the speech that Dr. King gave in Washington, the I Have a Dream speech, and we all do well to remember it on this day. And it's fitting that ACC is recognizing this historical place where African Americans have gathered for a number of years to promote spiritual being and education. So it's with that I want to introduce the new member of the Austin City Council, who is serving it quite well, and I'm proud to say this is his district, Cheeto Vela.
Thank you so much to everyone that has made this happen. Thank you so much to Representative Cole for her warm introduction. It's just a pleasure and an honor to be here. And I want to talk just a little bit about the city and its role also, not just in the further growth and development of the area, but also its critical role in preserving the Black history of St. John. The project, the city, we just celebrated the Home Depot there on I-35 and St. John's is about to come down soon, and we will have new housing, a large park, and a beautiful area there for people to enjoy. And just like the St. John Encampment Commons, the park and the area that we're building has to reflect, honor, and acknowledge the 100-year-old, 150-year-old Black history that that's part of the land where the project will be based. That's a critical component of it. Excited to see it go up. The park will honor and reflect that history, and importantly, the project will be 50% low-income housing, and it will have a right of return. And the right of return, I think, is very important because so many people have been displaced from the St. John community. And the idea of the right of return for those, 250 to 260 or so units that will be there would be to prioritize those with a historical connection to the St. John neighborhood, to invite them to be the first ones back to benefit from and enjoy the low-income housing. And again, it's one thing, we have to recognize the history. We have to acknowledge it. We have to learn from it, but we also have to make sure that our current population is here, that the history continues in the same areas, that the African Americans who have long occupied this area continue to be a part, continue to be a presence in the land that is so important, and the historical roots that they have in the St. John area. So I'm excited about this project. The St. John Encampment Commons is a great pair with the soon-to-be-built St. John Park, all of them reflecting the area's history. And again, congratulations to ACC, congratulations to UFCU. We're excited to continue on the partnership and the friendship between the governmental bodies, and we're very excited to move forward with the development there at the old Home Depot, again, honoring and respecting Black history and making sure that folks that have that historical connection to St. John's are staying in the neighborhood, are coming back to the neighborhood, and will always be a part of the area. Thank y'all very much.
Well, it's always fun when the person that started the party comes back up to close it out. Well, first of all, I want to give another round of applause to our musical talent, Miss Otha McClinton and Miss Gloria Quinton. Thank you so, so much for that. And I'm sure the forefathers are smiling at this moment. That was absolutely beautiful. Now, we're here for ACC's 50th anniversary. And of course, like anything ACC does, it goes on and on and on. So starting September the 17th is when we started. We're going to have a party here at ACC on September the 23rd. So the campus opened in 1973, and on September the 23rd, which is next month, Tuesday, not far away, we're going to have a party. It's a Riverbat Homecoming Fest, and you're all invited. Okay, so I want to make sure that we see everyone here. And as with anything that's involved in education, we have a hashtag. So pull out your phones. Pull out your phones. We want to make sure that you hashtag ACC Proud, because that's what we are. ACC Proud, as you go around this beautiful campus, as Dr. Malcolm pointed out, to take photos of each other, take photos of the facilities and the building, our artists and all that are involved today. So please hashtag us so that we can share your memories. And as always, ACC is zero waste. So we have people here to help you discard your items as you leave, to show you where to put them. Because I know sometimes I walk up to these recyclable things and it takes me a minute to read where to put a napkin. So we actually have people here to help you with that. Afterwards, please enjoy the refreshments that we have on campus for you. Thank you so, so much for enjoying and enduring the heat with us. We're very excited. You heard a lot about what this property means to ACC and the community. You cannot leave here changed, and you cannot leave here knowing the importance of the history and how it must be shared with our younger generation. That's important. That's our job. And that's what we do as grandparents and parents, aunts and uncles, friends and relatives. So I'm going to ask everyone that was a speaker, the Board of Trustees, to join me for the official ribbon cutting of the beautiful St. John Encampment Commons, sponsored by UFCU Credit Union. Also, the board, please join us at that time. You're never done until Molly Beth tells you that you're done. Thank you all.
So yeah, you did perfect. But all of the speakers and the UFCU board and the ACC board for the pictures and the ribbon cutting, and all come down and see it.
3, 2, 1, cut the ribbon!
Yeah.